I'll call the cops if I have to. Make my day. God is testing my patience today. Hi guys, it's Adria. Welcome back to the chaos that is my channel. To start off tea time today, I just recently got this from my mom. I think she got this on Amazon. I am not gonna have tea today. I'm gonna have water that has emergency in it because we try to boost our immune system around here. So buckle in. I also want to apologize for my hair. I know my roots are so bad. I actually might go to a salon soon, so can y'all like tell me to do that in the comments? And Gen Z, before you come for my side part, okay, I tried to do the center part and it just looks bad. For today's video, we have a story time yet again about the crazy neighbor. If you have not seen this series, I will put a link up here to a playlist, Crazy Neighbor Story Times. You may want to start at the beginning. There's a lot of context here, and we've reached a breaking point. This here is the breaking point. So this was about 2 weeks ago now. I did actually try to film this video a few weeks ago, but I spilled tea all over myself. It was just a mess. I'm like, y'all haven't seen me in a month, so like, let's look cute. How are you doing? I'm doing relatively okay. I'm more okay than I was. If maybe you follow me on Twitter, you saw my tweet asking for your prayers. So I really do appreciate you guys who reached out to me and are just, you know, always looking out for me. So thank you. When was my last neighbor video? 7 months ago, and it was called My Crazy Neighbor Has Gone Too Far. That was when I thought she burned the house down. Y'all are in for this. Thumbs up this video for the chaos. All right, I have some notes here. I feel like TikTok kind of knows my situation because they taunt me with videos like this. Oh, taking my super old neighbor out for fun because he's lonely. Yeah, and the people that work at TikTok are like, yeah, Adria, you can never have that. And guess what you've won this evening? Not a nice neighbor that you can spend quality time with. Videos like this, it's like, oh, faith in humanity restored. Look how wholesome this is.
I always give Homer the bigger half.
And then there's just me.
You have been spying on me.
What? You're spying on me, I'll call the cops! I would love to stitch with that TikTok of the video of my neighbor at the door that I'm gonna show you. Also, I feel like she's... Have you seen those TikToks about deep fakes? I'm convinced she's a deep fake because... That sounds crazy. I'm kind of being hyperbolic here. I saw her not too long ago and like I actually took a double take because I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what I thought she looked like. It was so strange. Maybe it's just because I don't look at her. I choose not to look at her. And also on that same note, I have decided to never let her see what I look like. I know she looks at us. I've seen her peeking out her blinds at us when we're coming home, which is creepy as all living heck. I wear sunglasses, I wear a mask, I will put a hood on my head. She doesn't even know what I look like. She would not be able to spot me in a crowd. So, there's that. I know that sounds a little crazy on my end, but you know what? She skeeves me. And you know, I feel like she really gypped herself because I don't want to hype myself up, but I would have been a really good neighbor. You know? If I see you struggling with your groceries, I'd be out there helping you. We could have had that. I try to be nice, y'all. And I know that sounds so bitchy, and like, I hate when people say like, oh, I try to be the bigger person, like be the bigger person. Like, I understand that that can sound so annoying, but let me just paint a picture. So we got a lot of snow back in February of this year. This first snowstorm we got, my mom had asked me like, oh, did you clean your neighbor's car? And I'm like, what do you think? You know, I kind of thought about it and then I was like,
You have been spying on me.
My mom kind of guilt tripped me about it. It's not about her, it's about the person you want to be. You know, then we got more snow and I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? I want to be that good person where even if you treat me bad, I still want to do the right thing. I cleaned off her car like twice. She didn't say anything about it and I didn't expect her to. I honestly didn't even want her to. I'm like, please God, don't even let her see me do this. So, you know, I didn't do it for any kind of like thanks. In fact, I wanted the opposite. I didn't want her to acknowledge it at all. I think that's kind of why off the bat I didn't want to clean the car because I didn't want her to say anything to me or like accuse me of scratching her car or something dumb. Like After this incident, I sent this video to my mom of my neighbor, the receipts. She said, I completely get it now. Don't do anything for her ever again. My mom cracked, Brandon cracked. This is the breaking point. This did it for everybody. You know, I've always thought to myself about this neighbor, like, how would I want somebody my age to treat my grandmother? I'd want them to shovel her snow. I would want them to be civil and polite. Also, if my Nana was knocking on people's doors and yelling at them, I'd be like, you know what? Understandable, have a nice day, let's all move on. The recent events. I have this in my phone as poop emoji recent events. There have just been little times here and there, like she's tried to get Brandon's attention when he comes home for lunch or whatever. He doesn't have that long of a lunch break, so he's like, then when he leaves to go back to work, she yells out her window, have a nice life. But it was more like, have a nice life. Okay, I plan to. I would give anything to have this on video. She kind of threatened Brandon at one point. You know, I might leave her threat for the end of the video. Should I say, yeah, threat. And recently, I have this down in my notes. I wrote these notes a few weeks ago, but it's funny. Recently, she kept leaving magazines in our mailbox. And it says on here she did it twice in 2 days. She actually just did it yesterday and last week. So 4 magazines in our mailbox within the past few months. We don't even bring them in the house. We just throw them in the trash. And I hate to even sound like one of those people, like there's a pandemic, but it's like literally like, what if she had COVID and just like coughed all over this magazine and then stuck it on it? I wouldn't put it past her. I know that sounds crazy on my part, but you gotta think crazy. You gotta think like a crazy person when you're dealing with crazy. Okay, so that brings us to 2 weeks ago when I had this gut feeling something was gonna happen. I can feel it. It's been 7 months since the last video I made, so it's been a while. And Brandon and I come home. We're those weirdos that shower as soon as we get home and then are just in our pajamas for the rest of the day, and then we make dinner. Brandon was in the kitchen beating his meat. Brandon was in the kitchen tenderizing chicken. And you know, like that's loud, it's loud and it's annoying. I'll give her that. So he was doing this for maybe a minute or two. It wasn't very long. So he stops for a minute and then I hear banging on our floor, which is her ceiling. And I'm like, and I start laughing and he comes into the living room. He's like, what is that? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Crazy is banging on her ceiling. And I don't know how a elderly woman is able to bang on her ceiling. She must have like a broom or something that she just... Can someone make a gif of me doing that? Brandon was just like, wow, she's crazy, LMAO, and then just goes back into the kitchen. So we're just chilling, hanging out. We're kind of just chatting. He's tenderizing the chicken and I'm sitting there eating Pringles and we're just talking and whatever. And then we hear the doorbell ring 2 or 3 times in a row. She rings it in a way that I know that it's her. And I think I've said this in maybe other story times about her. Whenever like DoorDash comes or something, they ring it once and it's like a very polite ring. One ring, it rings all the way to the end and that's it. She ding, 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 thinking it's not working or something. Like, no, it works. It works. She knocks on the door super loud, like, I wanna, like a fist. I do the knuckle knock. I don't do the side. That's really aggressive. That's like a you hurt my daughter type knock. That's not the knock I knock with. and icing on the cake, she turns our handle when she's knocking. So if our door was just casually left unlocked for whatever reason, like what, would she just walk right in? I have my Second Amendment rights, ma'am. This is a BB gun. Okay. I thought it was actually gonna work. Wait. Anyways, yeah, do not come in my house. As I'm sitting here, I don't even know how to shoot a BB. So yeah, what would she do if it was unlocked? Just walk right in? I'd like to see her try. So before we get to the receipts, the video of her going crazy, I just want to say I hate explaining myself to people, and the only reason I am like over explaining this to you guys is because it really adds like the context of things and like so you guys get it. If you're cool to me and you ask me about something, like sure, I will be nice back. But if you come here and you're waving a finger at me and you're calling us names and you're being rude, I'm not going to move an inch. this is a lot of character development for me. If you go back and watch the first encounter I had with her, where I kind of like had my tail between my legs and I was scared. I'm like, girl, I couldn't be me nowadays. She is not worth my wrinkles. She is not worth gray hair. She's not worth it. I will over explain to you guys. I will give you the full context. Brandon and I hardly use any water. We hardly use any water between the two of us. Shower wise, maybe a combined 15-20 minutes a day, if that. Sometimes even less than that. And this is important. It sounds random that I'm saying this now, but just keep this in mind. And we have never used this bathtub. We have never used it. So why don't we sit back and watch what happens next? Let's watch this together.
Hello?
Hello?
Do you have a plumbing problem upstairs? Because this is not the first time that I've heard you fooling with the tub and the
I was tenderizing meat. I was flattening my chicken.
in the bathroom?
No, it was in my kitchen.
Well, somebody's been banging and running water in your tub for more than 5 tubfuls.
It's not
She's
happening.
been
It's not. That's not happening.
I just heard it. And
That I was tenderizing chicken.
All right, we're gonna pause there. I want you to think in your mind what you would do next. So you think someone's filling up the tub multiple times, right? Multiple tubfuls of water. That doesn't mean that's what's happening, but that's what you think is happening. Someone tells you, oh, no, I was just doing this in my kitchen. I would be like, oh, well, okay, just checking. Glad everything's all right. See you later. You are never going to believe where this escalates to. Are you ready?
you can lie if you want to.
Alright.
This neighbor is nuts, bro. You can lie to me if you want to. It took everything in me. Actually, even before she said that, I was standing there at the top of the stairs ready to explode. If I wasn't up there looking like a naked mole rat fresh out of a shower, I would have screamed. I was at my wit's end. First of all, I felt like Brandon was explaining way more than he needed to, which is like, you don't owe her an explanation. This is our private residence. You do not have to explain anything that was going on up here to her. But I understand. Also, can I just say how happy I am that someone finally got the opportunity to slam the door in her face? I have fantasized about that for the past 2 years. I wish so badly I had done that the first encounter I had with her, right? I wish I would have just done that. Oh my gosh, when your man is assertive, why is that like the most attractive thing ever? But then listen to the end of it. Listen to this. Listen to how it ends, what she's saying.
You can lie if you want to.
Alright.
Wait a minute, I called the landlord.
Alright.
I called the landlord, and I'll call the cops if I have to.
I'll call the cops if I have to. Make my day. I would love for you to waste their time. She has a screw loose. And people are like, oh, she's old. Oh, she's this. And people, there's not a comment that you could leave me about her health, her sanity that I have not already spun my wheels around in my head thinking about for the past 2 years. I get it. She is not well. She is not sane. Something is not right. And in that way, it is sad, yes. But I have said this before and I will say it again. When your mental health issues are infringing upon your neighbors, people, innocent bystanders, I didn't sign up for this. That's when it's a problem. And I seriously feel in my heart that she should not be living by herself. I mean, she just sits in her house. It's dead silent all day. All she does is watch TV and scream at telemarketers on the phone and then threaten Brandon. Oh, let's get to that. So, a few months ago, she was standing outside and Brandon came home. This is so bizarre. She's like, I was thinking about putting solar panels in right here. Would you mind? And he's like, no. And she's like, oh, well, you never know because someone could take them out and stab you in the throat with them. Oh, sorry, what? At first I'm like, huh. But the more and more I speculated on that sentence, the more I realized that was a threat. stab you in the throat with them. Can y'all weigh in the comments? Like, that sounds like a threat, right? I can't imagine just passing by someone casually and oh, you never know when someone's gonna stab you in the throat. And here's the thing, this is dangerous because you never know. Like, people are nuts. You know, like, I'm up here joking with the BB gun and whatever, but people are insane. And as crazy as she is, someone even crazier could move in here. How does she know I'm not bat up here in my straitjacket? Why would you go to someone's door and antagonize them, right? Like, that's my whole thing. That's dangerous. You hear about that story recently in Pennsylvania, this couple that were shoveling snow and their neighbor just kind of like went off and he shot them. Like, all of them were just antagonizing each other and then they all ended up dead. People are nuts. That is the moral of this story. You may think you're the craziest person in the room, but you might not be. Oh my gosh, poor Brandon. I need to know what y'all think of this. And every person I have showed this to is now on board with me. I think before my family was kind of like trying to push me in the morally right direction, like, oh, just do the right thing, just be polite, just, you know, do this. And even Brandon was always like, you know, I'm just gonna be polite to her. And I would always say to him, like, if she talks to you, just ignore her. And he would get mad at me for even saying that. Like, no, like, why would I do that? But now he's at the point where he's like, yeah, no. No. I'm sorry I spit on you. I'm done. I'm pissed. I'm done. I also acknowledge that this is not worst case scenario. I mean, like I said, that family that got shot by their neighbors just for shoveling snow. I acknowledge that this is not the end all be all. And you know what? After this video, I'm just going to close this book and forget that this even happened. She's not gonna live in my head rent free. I'm just gonna forget about it. It's gonna be fine. And you know, maybe Brandon and I will make her on the sin. All right, I'm gonna give a Twitter shout out to somebody today. Katie, thank you, Katie. Also, I might be getting married soon. I don't know what's going on. What? Courthouse wedding, anybody? All right, stay tuned. Panda hugs, I love you guys. Goodbye. But I kind of want to like use pots to barricade around my front door because this woman's on a walker. Measure the proper dimensions of my porch and the pots and the height of my door. This would all go away.